Hello. Can you guys hear me okay? Someone want to give me a hands high five sign or something? And also, as a reminder, will you please do it in the chat box? Thank you. High five. Yeah, if you have any questions, please do it in the chat box because I can't see the Q&A for some reason. You would think by now I'd be getting really good at this. All right, what's our time? 10:01. Oh, a very good turnout today. And I know everyone needs help on their positive image, body image. All right. Shall we begin? A couple of weeks ago, I had someone close to me tell me about their body dysmorphia from a young age and their struggle with eating disorders. And they came to me as a friend, not as a patient, which is always a little tricky. But it got me noticing how often I encounter a friend, a loved one, a patient, how often I hear myself say something negative, make a negative comment about my body. It is not easy for us to love ourselves. We all have a negative self-talk voice that enters our mind. If you think for a second that your friend who's super pretty and skinny and has the perfect marriage and the perfect little kids and all that type of stuff doesn't have a negative voice in their head, or his or her head, then you're gravely mistaken. We generally are harder on ourselves than we are on anyone else. And we say the worst, cruelest things to ourselves that we would never say to another person. I think it's very hard in this generation, especially. In my generation, I had, media, TV, magazines, that type of stuff where at that time, it was the Kate Moss. We all needed to be super skinny, no butt, no boobs, no nothing. But now with social media, I think it's much harder for these kids. We have constantly alerts on our phone. We wake up to the newest, feed about what everyone else is doing, showing us how good everyone else has it, how happy everyone is, how, perfectly photoshopped and pretty they are. All the social media apps now have these filters on top of that. So I do think it's much harder today. But the negative impacts of social media on our body image is concrete data. People who view just 10 minutes a day on social media, especially if they're viewing like celebrities or people of that caliber, tend to have a lower self-image, and Instagram seems to be the worst. So I kind of wanted to talk today about what makes a positive body image, or aspects of your body image, which was actually news to me. You have your perceptual body, which is how you see your body. You have your affective body, which is how you feel about your body. Your cognitive body, what you think about your body or how you think about your body. And your behavioral body, which is how you behave as a result of your perceptual, affective, cognitive body. And when I read that, it reminded me of a saying from Gandhi. It's been said many times, and so I think it's a little diluted, but for me, I really hold it dear, and that is, your beliefs become your thoughts become your words become your actions become your habits become your values, and your values become your destiny. I like that a lot. It really rings true. So if you believe that being skinny leads to happiness, then if you're not skinny, then you're just destined to be miserable. I mean, I quickly ran through that whole list, but the whole parts of it. But the point is that we have to be very careful the narrative that we're telling ourselves, the beliefs that we are holding. If your body image and all those categories, those aspects is positive, then you're able to accept, you're able to appreciate, you're able to respect your body. This doesn't mean you won't occasionally have insecurities, though it's normal, but you'll be able to look at your insecurities in more of a detached manner. A positive body image alone can actually help you lose weight. A long-term study found that people with the lowest body satisfaction score gained over twice the number of body mass index units as girls who had higher body satisfaction. I'm not saying that changing your attitude will just make weight fall off, but I think of it in this way. Negative attitudes are inflammatory. The cruel things you say inside your head are inflammatory. And we know that inflammation decreases our metabolism. It leads to unhealthy habits, that type of stuff. So in my practice, anything inflammatory going in, even if it's just words, can have a negative impact on your health. And I think that's true. I think we're finding science and data to back that up all the time. So what goes into having a positive attitude about your body? Well, first of all, you have to have self-esteem, you have to value yourself, and you have to believe that others value you as well. You have to have a positive attitude, meaning you need to accept your strengths and your weaknesses as just being part of who you are. It's what makes you unique. And then you have to have emotional stability. Emotional stability, I think of as a balance star, that you need to have balance in your health, in your finances, in your romantic relationships, in your friendships, in your spirituality. Did I say financial? Job, career, activities, hobbies, that type of stuff. There needs to be stability in all those areas. And if there's instability in one, they can cause instability in all areas of your life. So we need to really work hard to avoid negative attitudes. And those negative attitudes generally fall into 3 categories. Perfectionism, impossible ideals we hold ourselves to. I, for instance, am never going to be 5'9". There is no room for me to have fantasies that if I were taller, then, I'd have long legs and whatever. I have to, I feel that at 5'3", I gain 5 pounds and people ask me when I'm expecting. I lose 5 pounds, people ask me if I'm starving myself. And it's people hold perfection ideas to others as well. So perfectionism of ourselves and of others, comparing, making social comparisons. Susie Q, post pictures of her and her family on these, exotic vacations. Their life must be so perfect. And then being judgmental. The more critical we are of others, the more that transfers onto how we view ourselves. I do feel that being judgmental of others is really us mirroring our own insecurities. So the first steps, and some of them might sound super cheesy, but just do them anyways. Just try it. Because you have to change the narrative in your head. So focus on all your positive qualities, your skills, your talents. Write a top 10 list. No one has to see it. Just write a top 10 list. Say positive things to yourself every day. Practicing affirmations. There was an SNL skit many, many years ago where he would say a few things, and he, he looks, like his intention is he's kind of a goober, but he would at the end say, and gosh darn it, people like me. There is something to it, and it can be awkward at first, but I would say just do it. Again, fake it until you make it. Avoid negative or berating self-talk if you find yourself doing it. If you find yourself saying something cruel that you would never say to someone else, break the cycle immediately. Go get a drink of water, go walk outside, go meditate, do a handstand. I don't know, break it. Focus on appreciating and respecting what your body can do. Focus on the positives. Set positive health-related goals rather than weight loss goals. I want to be healthier. I want to run a half marathon. I want to, positive health focused, not weight loss. Admire the beauty of others, but don't compare yourself. Avoid comparing yourself. We will never all look the same. And remind yourself of what true beauty is, right? It's much more than what's on the color of your skin, the shape of your body, that type of stuff. It's not skin deep. And remind yourself that many media images are unrealistic and unattainable for the vast majority. I was watching a video on, there's a body positive movement, and I was watching a YouTube video on it. And they were interviewing people out in the public, and it was amazing how inaccurate the pulse of the population was on what is healthy, what is pretty. We're ignoring the vast majority of people in the world. And we're assigning a shape of a body to being healthy, and that's a comparison that you can't actually make. So the next steps would be then to identify the negative self-talk you frequently encounter within yourselves. Identify your triggers. What assumptions are you making? Where did they come from? Why are you holding on to them? How are they serving you in your day-to-day life? What are ways that the assumptions are unrealistic or unhelpful, unhealthy? And what can you do to form more balance? Sometimes I work backwards with patients based a lot of on that Gandhi quote. What is the action they're taking? So they're scrolling through social media, and what are the words they're saying to themselves when they see certain images? There is going to be something as you're scrolling that you're going to have an emotional reaction to. So let's focus on that. Let's focus on those negative ones. What are your thoughts and beliefs based on the words you are using as the narrative of that picture? For instance, I try to avoid social media. I go on it, maybe a couple times a week. And just to give you kind of an idea of what I'm saying, I come from divorced parents. I was fortunate enough to have a stepdad that I would never call my stepdad. I would call him my dad. He was a wonderful father, still is a wonderful father, and he's listening too, I think. I divorced my high school sweetheart. I had another failed relationship. So when I see pictures of these parents with their kids and their little matching outfits and they're, doing some adventure, there is a little part of me that has a little grief, a little disappointment. Some feeling like I don't have that, that I failed my family. But I have to stop myself, and I have to really say that I might not have have that traditional sense of a family, that nuclear family, but I grew up with a lot of love, a lot of adventures, a lot of trips. My children have a lot of love, a lot of adventures. I am surrounded by family and support, and I have to pause and, realize that it's just my idea of what is right, what is perfect, that type of stuff is unrealistic, and that happy families come in many different shapes and forms. So once you kind of go through that, then you have to start small. You have to start having affirmations. You need to have a mantra. You really do. For instance, I'm surrounded by love. I remind myself all the time, I am surrounded by love, and I am so grateful. Gratitude goes a long way. Maybe if you're having negative body image, maybe it's my body deserves love. Maybe you need to just call yourself out. When I compare myself to others, I destroy myself. I don't want to destroy myself anymore. Maybe it's just because someone looks perfect on the outside doesn't mean they have a perfect life. No one has a perfect life. We all struggle. It's just part of being human. I choose health and healing over diets and punishing myself. Being skinny doesn't make me good. Being tall doesn't make me happier. Being fat doesn't make me bad. These are all things that you can say, but you have to find your mantra, like what rings true for you, right? That Gandhi quote might not do anything for you, but for me, it does a lot. So, any questions? Don't want to bombard you guys. I just wanted to give you a few tasters of how we can help have a better body self-aware, body image, have a little bit more self-awareness. I do want to put some links on my website. There's some really great websites right now. There is a whole body movement that's going on. Bodyimagemovement.com. That was kind of fun. There's some YouTube videos, that type of stuff. I will post this on my website, drlindsaysnelson.com. And I'm going to try to figure out a way to post some of those links on the body image movement and some of the videos, that type of stuff. And you can always email me if you have questions, drlindsaysnelson@gmail.com. I am seeing patients via telemedicine and occasionally in my home office if there needs to be one-on-one. So please reach out if you need any questions. My phone's ringing, sorry. Nothing? I don't know if I should give you guys more time to No? Okay. Thank you everyone for coming. I don't know what I'm going to talk about next week, but I'll send the link out. We're really going to try to get that link out earlier than Tuesday. Sorry about that. I hope you guys all have a wonderful rest of your day, and hopefully we'll see you guys next week. Bye.